Turning Point USA Ambassador Caroline Joyous, along with former Turning Point USA chapter president and host of the Pinpoint podcast, Jaden Hurd. So, Caroline, I'd like to get your initial reaction to the ceremony, the emotions that were attached to it. I mean, when Erica talked about the birthday message from their daughter to Daddy, it made me cry.
Same, it made me cry too. It was, I mean, I don't think that any of us have gotten used to the fact that Charlie's gone, and I can't even imagine for his loved ones. I mean, I only spoke with him a few times, and it was so memorable. His death marked me in a way that no other has, and I think that a lot of Americans who never even met him feel the exact same way. And I think it's not just because he's gone. We know that he's with the Lord and he's okay, but it's because we saw how blatantly evil it was that his life was taken away from us, especially this early on. We were reminded once again just what a spiritual war it is that we're in. That this isn't only just left versus right, but this is good versus evil. And watching the ceremony yesterday, I was reminded of that, but I was also reminded that what the enemy meant for evil, the Lord will use for good, because they tried to silence Charlie Kirk, like you guys were talking about earlier on the show. They tried to silence Charlie Kirk's voice, and yet they only made him louder.
Yeah, no, great point. And Jaden, I know you watched that ceremony as well, and President Trump honoring Charlie as a fearless warrior whose name is entering into the eternal roster of true American heroes. What did you make of what we saw yesterday and what we heard from Erica as well?
I mean, ultimately, this is another example of how to be Christ-like. She's just very grateful, very thankful. And obviously, she's a mourning widow, but she's still taking joy in something that is so tragic. And the Bible, it just puts it so well. Like, we should mourn with the mourning, but we should also be joyful because we know where Charlie is. And I just continue to see such fruits of the Spirit from this family. I praise God that Erica is so strong. I know her children are going to be well taken care of, and I know that she's going to carry this mantle of Turning Point USA and continue this legacy and equip Gen Z so that we can continue his legacy. And we should be joyful for that, for sure. And this is a great example of this happening. Donald Trump honoring them with the Medal of Freedom. This is great, and what an encouragement it is for Gen Z and young people who know that we can do impact as a young person.
Yeah, Caroline, I mean, the thing that took me about the ceremony, we saw all the political players, the dignitaries, the pomp, the circumstances, and Charlie deserved all of that. But it's really so much more about what's going on in the ground. Not those in the halls of power, but the young people on those school campuses, in those high school buildings. And that's where I think Charlie's legacy is truly going to carry on, not with all of the DC stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, Charlie's death sparked courage like nothing else could have. And like I said, I know that any of us would trade all of what's gone on to have him back, but the Lord has used it. And like Jaden said, we can take joy in that. We can find joy in what God is doing in our generation. And Gen Z is more fired up than ever before to make a difference. You know, you would think that watching one of our heroes, a thought leader of our generation, the largest Christian voice of my generation, you would think that watching him be brutally assassinated on the world stage would actually make my generation want to cower down and make us want to be silent. But no, it emboldened us like never before. I've never seen my generation so outspoken, so bold, so ready to carry out the legacy of Charlie Kirk than I have right now.
Yeah. All right, we have to leave it there, but great to get both of your reactions from yesterday's ceremony. Jalen, Caroline, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.